Keon Coleman, the big-time receiver out of transfer portal, did end up committing to FSU over Ole Miss. He was rated number 1 player in the portal. I think he was like number 10 receiver overall from the December cycle and the spring cycle. Big-time playmaker for FSU. So I'm telling you, man, it was much needed because we lost Malik McClain in the transfer portal to Penn State, and it's crazy because Malik is not even. I don't even think he was in their starting rotation post spring. Lost Malik McClain, and of course Michael Pittman in their transfer. Even though they don't play the same position, but just the numbers itself, it wasn't looking good for the receiver position. So Mark Norvell and staff went in an attack. They got a big time playmaker out of Michigan State. Had 57 catches, 800 yards, and 7 touchdowns this past season. And that's with shaky quarterback play and just an overall bad season for Michigan State. Big time playmaker, man. 6'4", 215 pounds, physical presence. And it makes an already big receiver room even bigger. You got Johnny Wilson at 6'7", 230. Keytron Portier is around 6'3". Of course, you got Darren Williamson, another 6'3" product. Hakeem Williams, he's 6'3", not really factored much in this upcoming season. But just overall, the look of the receiver room is pretty big. And then you got, Jaheim Bell, 6'3" tight end. Marquise Douglas, the returning tight end, 6'4". Morlock out of the portal, 6'7". As a defensive coordinator, man, it's going to be real tough to kind of just stop this FSU offense. To be honest with you, we're
gonna shut that shit down, CJ. I'm telling you, man.
It's gonna be a fun time for Mike. Man, I don't think, especially at FSU, he hasn't had anything like that. I don't think, period, Mike has had this type of talent. He had a lot of dogs at Memphis that he was able to make some plays with, but. You got Jordan Travis, of course, at quarterback, and that's the crazy part about it, man. As a defensive coordinator, you got to factor in Jordan Travis's legs, right? That's the main thing you got to try to key in on is just stopping Jordan Travis as a runner. You got Trey Benson coming back at running back, a pretty good offensive line, receivers left and right. It's going to be tough. You can't really double team, say, Johnny Wilson, for instance. You do that, then you got a guy like Keon Coleman or Jaheim Bell. They're going to get single coverage, and they can pretty much have those mismatches as well. So it's going to be interesting. Offense average over 35 points last year. Bring most of the guys back. I think it'll be. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. I don't want to hype it up too much, but I do think the offense could be a 40-point a game offense. I think it could kind of carry the team. To be honest with you, if everyone stays healthy.
So 40 points a game.
Yeah, they averaged 35 last year.
You think y'all gonna average 40?
Yeah, I think they get another touchdown. You add in Keon Coleman, Jaheim Bell, offensive line get better. Trey Benson, that's another thing too. That's his first time playing, getting extensive snaps last year. He was hurt at Oregon, then really cracked the rotation at Oregon. So to have him a full season of experience on his belt coming into this year, and this was a quote that people kind of let fall on the radar for spring practice. Mike said Jordan Travis was one of the most improved players. From spring practice from start to finish. And that's saying a lot because he had a pretty good year last year. So I think they could average 40. We'll see how it plays out this upcoming year. Like I said, 40 sounds like a lot, but you factor in they averaged 35 last year with damn near everybody coming back.
Y'all get 40 on LSU out the gate.
Game out,
oh, yeah.
You fall down about 27.
Right?
Do the math.
What do we
that game definitely does inflate a lot, but it's crazy that y'all are the reason it's inflated, Larry. And that's insane. Like y'all a directional school or some shit.
Yeah,
we scored 24 on LSU last year.
What was it, 24-23?
24-23. Yeah.
How much eligibility Hill got?
4.
4? Okay.
4 years, yeah.
He been home. He ain't been playing no ball nowhere, man.
Yeah, his clock ain't never started.
Yeah,
that's right.
Clock ain't never started.
Yeah,
it's crazy that his clock ain't started. He only 19. That's impressive.
No, he's not even 19 yet. He'll be 19 later in this year.
Gotcha.
But he was 17 his senior year. He had one of those late birthdays. Excuse me. There's one more transfer portal guy I want to get into. Offer haven't been extended yet, but it could come pretty soon. Contact has been made. And that's Antavious Lane, the safety. And it's crazy. He was a safety out of Georgia State. He entered the transfer portal and committed to North Carolina, but he hasn't enrolled at North Carolina as of yet. And it's crazy how all this shit comes in full circles, right? So Keon Coleman and Dustin Hill, they were my number 1 receivers in the 2021 recruiting class. And Antavious Lane, this kid is out of Dwyer down in Palm Beach. Jasper Grimes, man, he showed me his film way back then because Grimes was still at Dwyer at the time. Like, man, CJ, check out this film, man. I got to say, he was a ball.
How old is this kid? 35?
Nah, he has one more year.
Grimes is still coaching at the Wire?
Yeah, I think so, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
he's a Portal guy.
Yeah, Portal guy.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Portal guy. Played at Georgia State. So Grimes showed me his film, whatever, back then. Like, yeah, this kid is a baller. Only thing was it was his size. He was 5'9", like 180 pounds. Filming some like Bob Sanders, those type. Lamar, I ain't gonna say he's that good, but like Lamarcus Joyner-esque, like his similarities. So
Grimes don't miss, man.
he don't. So Grimes shot me the film, liked the film. Let me refresh my jump real quick, man. It seemed like my screen froze. 1 second, fella. So Antavious Lane is a name I want you guys to look out for as a possible offer and late ad as far as the safety room for the portal. Real productive at Georgia State.
Y'all been after a safety. How you feel about that position going into fall?
If we stay healthy, I'll be good. But I'm because I like the two starters. I like Shaheem Brown. I like Akeem Dent. And like I said, I like the JUCO guy, but I got to see it first once you get to FSU. So if we stay healthy with the two starters, we should be okay. True freshman, Hussey hasn't gotten on campus yet, but I've been hearing good things about him. But the other true freshman that's on campus, so you guys know how I am about true freshmen. But the other true freshman that's on campus is the kid from Reigns, Keaton Kirkland. He looked damn good in the spring. Like, this kid looked really good in the spring. The first spring practice I went to before the pads, he stood out initially just from a size standpoint. But he made a lot of plays down the stretch. I think he's going to be a player for FSU this year. We'll see how much of a player that is, how much of a player he will be, once the season unfolds. But I'm very high on that kid, very high. And I was high on Hussey coming out, coming out of St. Thomas Aquinas and being committed to Penn State. Just haven't seen it yet on FSU campus, but I do think he'll be a big time player as well. But if we can stay healthy with those initial guys, I think we'll be okay. But that's the main thing. The depth is just not there for for what we want it to be. But Ricardo Jones, speaking of safeties, 4-star safety out of Georgia, he's scheduled an official visit with FSU for the 23rd. He also scheduled an official visit with Clemson for June the 2nd. As of now, I know Tennessee was another team that's been in the mix for Ricardo Jones, but the official visit hasn't been scheduled just yet. So he's a guy that's really high on FSU, and FSU is really high on him. We'll see how that visit for the 23rd shake out, as that is the huge official visit weekend for FSU for this summer cycle. Jason Zanamalo, number one interior offensive lineman in the country.
You got that off, didn't you?
Yeah, bro. It took me a while, though, bro. We've been practicing a lot, but when we first mentioned his name in like January, though, man, that shit was.
I ain't had to say it no more, so.
Yeah, that kind of died down a little bit.
Yeah, I ain't heard too much about that one.
But interior offensive lineman, man. He has a couple of official visits scheduled. Oklahoma June the 9th, USC the 16th of June, and FSU the 23rd of June. Those are the official visits he has scheduled as of now. I think FSU will get his commitment whenever that time comes. I think he'll pop sometime this summer. Like I say, it's from Clearwater Academy. And if you guys remember the previous year, we got Lucas Simmons, the offensive tackle from Clearwater, his former teammate. So I like the position that we're in for Jason. Jalewis Solomon, I like this kid a lot. Athlete out of Georgia, ranked 189 in the 247 composite. He has only South Carolina scheduled as of now for an official visit, and he has FSU as well. South Carolina June the 2nd, and again, FSU for that June the 23rd weekend. Athlete, I think he'll end up being a safety or cornerback for FSU. Like I said, I like his film a lot, and I like the position FSU is in with Jalewis Solomon. Booker Pickett Jr., the top 100 edge rusher out of Tampa, had over 30 sacks last year. The Miami legacy, I think his mom and dad went to Miami. He has official visits scheduled for FSU, Ohio State, and Georgia. So that's going to be an interesting recruitment as well. He said he likes the way FSU used their DN, specifically Jermaine Johnson and, of course, Jared Verse. Jonathan Daniels, 4-star offensive tackle from Pensacola Pine Forest, has LSU, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, and FSU scheduled in that order. Says him and Coach Atkins talk pretty much every day. I like the position FSU is in as well for him. I think once he decides, he'll end up being a no. He did state that he wanted to make his decision in December, but he kind of backed off those statements, saying that whenever he feels the timing is right, that's when he'll make that decision. But whenever that time does come, I do think FSU will be in the driver's seat for Daniels. I do think second up will probably be LSU for his services. Christian Clark, I mentioned Mentioned him to you guys a while ago as about a possible offer. FSU did end up offering him. Love his film a lot. Four-star running back out of Arizona. I know people see Arizona kind of get red flags, but he does have some ties to FSU. His mom and dad went to FSU. I think his dad actually played for FSU, and he has some family within the Panhandle area, around the Fort Walton area. So some familiarity. FSU had an unofficial visit in April, if I'm not mistaken. Scheduled his official visit to FSU for June the 2nd. Some heavy hitters for him as well, man. He got USC, Texas, and UGA are the other official visits that he has scheduled so far for Christian Clark. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's stick with running back, right? Mekhi Dansley. I want to give him some flowers real quick, man. The kid won state championship in the 200 and 400 with a time of a 21-1 in the 100 and a personal record of 46-1 in the 400. It's an in-state battle between FSU, Miami, and UF. He does have his official visit scheduled for us this summer. I like where we at in position for Michael. I think he'll be a no at the end of the day. Teammates with Ashton Hampton, like we just discussed, and like Larion said, he doesn't take an official visit until December for FSU. So for the two teammates, they're in a pretty good spot. Antavious Jones, the four-star defensive tackle out of Bluntstown. He's ranked 146 in a 247 composite, 6'3", 280 pounds. I like this kid film a lot. He's one of he's high on the board for Odell. Odell was actually at the spring game this past Friday to check in on Antavious Jones. So yeah, the four-star defensive tackle out of Bluntstown said he'll probably take his official visit to FSU during the month of December. That's all I got, fellas. As of right now, it's going to be some interesting stuff. And like Larion stated, once we get to these weekends, I will have more in-depth official visit information on each official visitor for that particular weekend, June 2nd, June 2nd, June 18th, June 10th, I want to say the 24th. I have that previous Sunday, we'll talk about it. And of course, that not the previous Sunday prior to the visits, we'll talk about it. But that Sunday after the visit, we'll have some more information in regards to updates. I'm sorry.
You got your June 2nd. Okay, it's gonna be after June 2nd when we next week's show.
Yeah, so next week I'm gonna speak about the June 2nd visits in that June 2nd weekend, whatever date that is, the June 4th show. Excuse me. We'll have updates for the June 2nd.
I see what you're saying. I got you.
We'll have updates for that June 2nd weekend.
Yeah, the calendar would beat my ass a little bit there. I'm sorry.